I've got noon, so we'll get started here. Do we know of how many are online today? Do we know?
We have Adriana and Tegan. I think I just lost Maureen. Ladies, can you hear us? Are you guys able to hear us on the GoToMeeting platform?
I heard.
Adriana, would you say that one more time, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
You're very quiet. How about you, Tegan? Can you hear us? Hello. There's Maureen. There we go. How about one more? There we are.
Okay.
So Maureen's there too, huh?
We have Maureen, Tegan, and Adriana all on GoToMeeting.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Am I the only one on phone?
Or can you, this mic's unplugged? Oh. Or you can just have, so he's the blank. This is the blank.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, right there.
Yep.
Okay, so you're the blank mic. Okay. Okay, well, we have it. Okay, we can get started then. We have a quorum. So,
Are you am I the only one on phone?
no.
Oh, okay.
There's 3, Maureen. You're one of 3.
Okay.
So we'll have Leah.
So if I
We'll start with the roll call then.
Coiner,
yeah.
Duffy,
Here.
Lemick, here, online, McBride, online, okay, online, I see her. Peterson,
Here.
Schertz, Spratt, here, Thomas,
Here.
Trees, I believe she's online as well. Yeah. Okay, and Woods.
No.
Absent.
Duffy.
I said Duffy.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
He said
hear
here, didn't I? I said Duffy, correct?
Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum. Mr.
Okay.
Chair?
So we can start then. First thing is looking over the meeting minutes from last month. Any additions or corrections to last month?
Hello.
Any additions or corrections to, I see Leah's lights, no? Oh, just hit it again. No? Okay. Any additions or corrections?
I make a motion, we approve those minutes.
It's been moved, do we approve them?
I'll second it.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from last month. Any more discussion before we vote? I don't see any lights on. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All opposed? All right, so the motion passed. Now, let's see, we got any public out there? Nope. I don't see any public, unless there's somebody online that's public, but I don't think. Oh, it's not a public, okay, so I don't have to worry about it. Let's see. Old business, right now, I don't think there is any, unless somebody has something they want to bring up. Let's see. I don't see any lights on the, if there's no old business, we'll move on to the New business. Now, we're gonna hear some words from our director. He's gonna give us how this is going to operate, correct?
Yeah. Can you hear me all? Okay, so Jess included in the minutes in the board packet sort of a summary. This will be a little different than what we've done in the past. Typically, when we have these, we have pretty much a single nomination for each chair, and then we just put it as a slate and just motion the slate and approve it. Since there were multiple individuals interested in different positions on the board, we contacted the city attorney's office just to verify how this process should work, because we don't just have a single slate to approve, we'll have multiple nominations. So the way it'll work is there'll be a discussion first. Richard will open it up for discussion. And that's sort of what we're doing right now. And then there'll be a nomination phase. So at that time, you guys can nominate others for a position, or nominate yourselves. You can nominate yourself. You don't need somebody to nominate you. And I should backtrack for a second. We're going to do this position by position. So the first round will be for the chairperson. Once we've completed and elected a chairperson, then we'll move on to vice chair. Once we've completed the nominations and election of the vice chair, we'll move on to secretary, okay? So during the nomination phase, there needs to be a nomination, and then someone needs to second that nomination. If there's no second on the nomination, that nomination dies, and then we open it up again for additional nominations. Once all the nominations are out there for a particular position, then we go to a roll call vote, right? So Richard will close the nominations, and then Leah will call the roll call vote for the chairperson. And when it's your turn to vote, you need to respond by saying, I vote for the name of that person for chairperson. And then Leah will tally all those votes, and then hopefully there is a vote or a winner, so to speak. If in case of a tie, if there's equal votes for a person, then we do it all over again for each position. Questions? Jerry, you're staring at me.
Just to be, whoa, hello.
I apologize. I lost my phone connection here.
Okay, well, I can ask Chad this.
Yeah.
In normal motions, and I don't get to vote, but in this, the chairperson does
Yeah,
have a vote.
you will be part of the roll call vote, yes,
Okay.
for this. You're a voting member of the board. So with that, we're gonna wait for Jessica to get them back online.
Time out for a minute.
Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash sign.
Yes, we hear it.
To enable audio controls, please enter your audio PIN followed by the pound or hash.
Ladies, can you hear us better at home now?
Hello? Am I still connected?
Yes.
Okay, I see AM.
Can you guys hear us now?
Hello?
Yes, Maureen. I'm Adriana.
Am I still
here.
connected?
I think we are.
I've
Let's see.
lost
Jessica-
sound.
Yeah.
Okay, can you guys hear us now?
Well, we got 3 green. Tagans. Yeah.
Can everyone hear us at home? Can you, Adriana or Tegan, can you guys hear us now? It's showing. That call keeps dropping. Yeah. Can you hear us? They can hear us, but we're having issues. Ladies, can you try talking one more time?
Okay. Bullshit.
Can they just chat? If they can hear us, can they just stay in the chat?
Maureen can't because she's on the phone. The other two are actually
Can we
logged
wait till
in.
later in the meeting?
That's what I'm wondering, if we can push down. Is there any reason we need to nominate for new chairs in October for bylaws?
Yes, our bylaws state that our elections happen in September.
But this is,
But this is extenuating, so.
If there's a motion and a second
Yeah,
to,
so, yeah. So for now, while we try to figure out the technical, if Richard, I'd make the recommendation that we just go on to staff reports.
Yes.
And then hopefully we can get this back right to the point, because it's important with the nominations and the
Right.
chairs that we do it right.
right,
And then worst case scenario, if we can't get this back right, we can certainly, you guys can motion to suspend it to October.
sure.
Because I think it's important that everybody has a chance to weigh in. If
Sure.
that's okay, we'll
Yes.
move on and do that.
So we'll move on, and I hope the people can hear us at least. We'll move on to director's report. We'll start with Chad then.
Okay. So, last month I had mentioned that I'll be working on a budget presentation for you guys, and my hope was to have it for this month. The finance department is still reconciling, obviously, with the storm and other things that came in. They got a little backed up on their year end, so I don't have all the information I need to report out to you guys, so that'll be pushed to October. I apologize for that. We did meet with, last month we had the Prospect Terrace Park Subcommittee recommendations, and one of the things in there that was requested is that Natural Resources, the division in Public Works, be consulted, and staff, including myself and Betsy and Billy, we met with Natural Resources staff the other day to walk through the proposal. They're working, Amy Kay is working on sort of a response and recommendations based on the subcommittee's recommendations and just offering an opinion. So when I get that formalized, I'll send that out for you guys too. And then my goal in October is to have a work plan put together based off of the recommendations, just to present back to you guys to know what we're looking at going forward with that. Because we'll need to build some funds into the budget and do some other things to accomplish the recommendations of the subcommittee. So more information on that in October. Dog park project, I know I've made some notes in previous meetings, but we are about ready to put our public information out. If you recall, we're going to be shutting down the Centennial Dog Park for maintenance and the park development project, the entrance project. So starting September 14th, we'll shut down the dog park. We are going to set up a temporary dog park space within Centennial Park, so it's not a total removal of an amenity. There'll be an option for the dog park users. And the main dog park will start seeding and the repair work this fall, and we'll let it sit dormant over the winter and come in and reopen the dog park in the spring. But the whole time that the dog park shut down, we'll have that temporary location open. So there'll be options for the dog park users. But just an awareness that we're going to start rolling out our public notification here. We'll have some banners up on the existing dog park, basically saying what the project is and the timeline and all that sort of stuff. So that is coming up. And then I'm very happy to report that we have finally resumed construction on Gabe's Playground at Vanderveer. They have started the concrete work with the surfacing company ready to come in shortly thereafter. We are now looking at probably a second week, third week in September for the ribbon cutting, but we'll send some information out. I'm hesitant to set a hard date at this point until I know the surfacing company is putting down the surfacing, because they're coming from New York, and timing of their schedule compared to when the contractor has the concrete work done is imperative to setting that date. So more information to come on Gabe's. And then lastly, I just want to personally sort of thank everyone and our staff. 2020 has been a crazy year, and thank all of you guys too for your patience and questions with our, we haven't been able to get to all the projects and things in a timely manner we hope for, and because we've been sidetracked or derailed in one way or the other, but kudos to our team, not only the parks team, but our public works team and our other departments in the city. I think you guys should all be very proud of the work that staff and crews are putting in, and what they've had to, the challenges they've had to face this year. I have professionally, obviously, my short professional career, I've never seen anything like this, and I certainly hope not to experience another 2020. Yeah, just wanted to give a quick kudos to our team and recognize them for their efforts and through a pandemic and everything else. So it doesn't get said enough. I know the city gives a lot of kudos to Public Works and to PD and fire and everything else, but you guys have pretty darn good parks and recreation and golf operations team here as well. You should be proud of. So that's all I have. If you have any questions.
Did that committee on the west, what do you want to call it? West entryway, west, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, River West.
Yeah.
So the, if you remember when we formed a couple subcommittees, the second one was there's one that was on the Credit Island, and that has morphed into a larger committee called River West, and we've actually contracted with a consultant to sort of lead that strategic process, because when we got into that, the Credit Island one early, we found that, there's large interest with Riverfront Improvement Commission from basically Veterans Park down to Credit Island, that area, to look at strategic planning and some development and what can be done with that corridor of the river. So we just felt there's some good overlap and a good opportunity to blend into a larger planning process to get support from council. So the first meeting, I believe, is the 3rd or 4th? 3rd, yep, at 4 p.m. And we have Michael, Jerry, and Richard serving as our representatives on that committee. So yeah, we'll report back on a monthly basis as that process kicks off and continues. So
Okay, very good.
Yep.
Any other questions for Chad? Just looking.
Oh,
Go ahead, Wendy,
Yeah.
did you have one?
I do have a question, and it probably is part of not only what you said, Chad, or with Betsy. How did the, playground input for Tyler Park go? And my second question, did you have a lot of participants? I'm familiar with the area. And the second is, has there ever, I was by there and I saw the tree damage that was up by the playground in the park, but has there been any consideration of moving it from that upper site to the lower bowl? It's a safety, I know it's a safety issue and so isolated, lots of graffiti happens up there, et cetera. So could you just kind of share some of that?
Tyler.
Absolutely. So Tyler Park, we did 2 forums. We did an online forum for input, and I do not have the number in front of me, but a decent response from neighbors. And then we also did a go-to meeting, and I had a half dozen people or so on that meeting with me to give feedback as well. So all in all, very supportive of the park. They as they do when they have an opportunity to talk face-to-face, so to speak, with the city staff. It delves into some other things, that aren't really our purview, but that was okay. It was good feedback, and we had a good conversation. One of the questions that we posed to them was, would they be open to a relocation of the playground for those exact reasons, Wendy? And it was pretty much met unanimously with, yes, please move it down the hill. So we have had a pre-bid meeting already with playground installers and told them that the lower site is where we will go with the new playground. The upper site, there is some desire to keep a bench there, maybe a small, just one table shelter there, because you can kind of have overlook then. So yeah, that you will see that when we do put the new playground in, for it to be down below.
Okay, just to be clear, that would be on like what street? I can't think what street that would be, like.
Tyler is on Grand Street.
Grand and-
North of Locust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so down where we had the meeting in the
Correct.
park
Correct.
last year?
Yep, down
Okay.
where, yep.
Is there any parking on that alley there or not? What do you
Well,
think?
interestingly enough, that alley is private. It is privately owned, so the residences that actually face the street, which would be to the east of it, own that alley. And any
Oh.
repairs and stuff are on the homeowner's dime. So there
Oh.
was some interest to do some parking there. That obviously is a bigger ticket item that we would need some engineering to look at and give us a cost estimate and that sort of thing. So that may be something in the future.
Yeah.
But I think if we pull it down where it's visible, I think people will use on-street parking, because there is on-street parking there on Grand.
Yeah,
And away from, because I think what happened is people maybe kind of saw there was a playground up there, went, oh, I don't want to park here, ended up driving around, ended up on that private alley.
yeah.
Which also dead ends.
Oh.
And it just wasn't a good thing, so.
Okay, well, that explains it.
Thanks.
Thanks. Okay, any other questions? Mr. Coiner?
I have two. Ken, I'd like for you to kind of go over that disability. For all the parks, let everyone know what's going on there. And secondly,
Jerry, you're not on.
First of all, the disability program for all the parks, and secondly is the speed bumps at EMI's.
Yep.
If you'd address those.
Sure. So the first question, we have a every other year CIP that has been funded for the last 5 to 7 years. I don't know the year exactly, but the Department of Justice at one point, I believe in the mid-2000s, came in and did an investigation in the city and cited the city of Davenport with numerous Americans with Disability Act violations. And there's a work plan that the city works off of. Of those issues cited by the Department of Justice regarding or relating to parks was basically making sure that we have access or accessible walks to and from our playgrounds and our ball fields. So this annual or every other year CIP is, I think, generally funded around $100,000 to $150,000 range. We have, in the last 5 years, we've started to make those changes and address those issues at our ball field complexes. So we've done it. We've accomplished Prairie Heights, Junkie South, Northwest Park. Ridgeview is currently in construction as we speak. And the next one we are looking to do is EMICE. So basically what that entails is getting accessible walkways so people with disabilities, whether you're a participant or a spectator, a mother or a father who wants to watch their kid participate, can access those sport facilities, those ball fields, safely or through mobility, limited mobility. So that's what's going on with those projects. And then the second question was the speed humps at Emice Drive. Public Works is looking into installing speed tables, which are smaller than speed bumps, is my understanding. So in years past, we have, as a department, have installed temporary speed bumps across the drive. But what happens is, because they're temporary in nature, they get torn up and they tear up the street and they create potholes, and we're consistently having to reinstall them. So we reached out to Public Works requesting a more permanent solution. They didn't want to go as far as full speed humps, so they have what's called a speed table, which I think is just a smaller, longer version, but that is being engineered now, and I believe they're getting cost. I don't have a timeline on the installation on those, but
Do you think that's gonna slow things down out there? The ones that you're talking about, they're only about that high.
They currently have.
I've seen those before,
So,
and they're
yeah,
not.
they are currently installed on Rushholm in front of Genesis East, between the two Genesis buildings there. And you notice them if you go too fast.
I'll look at them, because I just don't think that they're what I'm thinking they are. They're not high enough. The ones we had weren't high enough. They weren't slowing down at all. They were just going right over them. And if you go over into the park area, and not bringing up Bettdorf, but you'll know when you hit a speed bump over there, and it's permanent blacktop.
I'm not opposed to either way. I mean,
So
we
I
can
mean,
revisit it with Public Works. I'm not sure the reason why they recommended tables as opposed.
And I mean,
Huh? Oh, for plowing
well,
purposes.
I understand, but they have to plow over there too.
Yeah.
So it's something that everybody in the whole neighborhood is concerned about, and I hear a lot about it.
Yeah,
So I think if we're gonna do it, let's do it right.
yeah. I mean, I would argue it's not necessarily a parks issue, because it's a Public Works street issue.
Then-
And that's why they're taking the lead on
So
it.
it should be, so.
I mean,
should
it
go to-
involves us,
So it should
certainly.
go to the city council, is that
No,
correct?
I know Alderman Dunn's been involved in conversations.
Because I will go to that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to.
I have my call light on, Richard.
Oh, I didn't even notice you. I'm sorry.
I don't use it very often. So Tegan said that she loves the idea of moving Tyler Park. She left us that note. And then Adriana would like Chad to repeat his information about River West. It was muffled on their end. They heard the rest of your report clearly.
Gladly. River West is the Credit Island, I guess, evolution to that subcommittee that is going to be a larger planning process in conjunction with Riverfront Improvement Commission, the Corps of Engineers, as well as Nahant Marsh, and Park Advisory board members, and myself as city staff, and Steve Aarons as city staff will be leading that in conjunction with Kevin James, who's the consultant that's been hired to lead that process. And the first meeting is September 3rd at 4 o'clock. And they are public meetings. Anybody's welcome to attend. And the location is River's Edge.
No. Okay. So, was that it, Jessica? I don't see your light on.
Adriana, there will be an online option for that meeting. I can send out the go-to-meeting information to the entire board if you'd like to attend that way.
Okay. Staff reports. Betsy, you want to go first?
Sure, thank you. You do have my written report. I will echo Chad's thanks. This last storm was extraordinary, to say the least, and I am so pleased with my staff and their can-do attitude. They have basically been out nonstop since August 11th, cleaning parks, and we are continuing to work on that. We are also getting pulled in a few other directions because life didn't stop on the 11th, which is good. But that means I've had a playground to take out and some other projects as well. So be patient if you have a park near you. Be patient if we haven't gotten there. We are working on it. Very, very thankful in a strange way that we've had this mini drought, so the grass is not growing, so we don't have to worry quite about that. So in addition to Tyler and Vanderveer playgrounds, Jungie Park Playground South has been installed. Staff is, again, project getting pulled off, working on preparing for, that is going to be our first playground outside of Centennial, which it was, and of course Prairie Heights, that has a pour and play surface. And thanks to Teresa writing a grant for us, and we were able to put some pour and play surface there. So that's going to be very exciting to have that there. It will be a partial pour and play and fiber mulch, but that we look to have that coming online hopefully at the end of next week. So that's exciting as well. So.
How many trees did Vanderveer lose, or did they lose any?
Every park in the city lost trees, and yes, Vanderveer lost a significant number. And
Oh.
30 plus.
Yeah,
Oh,
At least were lost.
yeah.
yeah.
I would say 30 plus trees lost is entirely, with numerous still being assessed for damage and whether or not they'll survive or need to
Oh,
be removed. So,
boy.
yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Any questions? Jerry?
I just want to mention the fact that the guys on all the golf courses have done an excellent job of getting those golf courses, because they didn't lose a dime on that program. They still had people out there playing, and those guys went out there and got the job done. And I seen that myself. So that was really great. So thanks to them. Troy, good job.
Okay. Any other questions? Whoop, Jerry, did you want another? Oh, okay. Okay. If there's no other questions, we'll move on to Teresa. Do you have anything to add today? What are we doing with the youth sports and the pandemic and stuff? How's that? I mean, are they even operating, or? Yes, you get to be on screen.
Okay. Yes, we are trying. I say that with a little confidence. It's as tough as everything has been in 2020, so I'm hopeful. Basically, at my last rec team, I said, I want us to run whatever we can run. So we're doing it, and we're gonna be told we can't do it by somebody.
Okay.
So pretty much that's what we do, and that's what we're trying to encourage people to do. Of course, we want to do it safely, and we work with a lot of organizations to make sure that that happens. An example would be that last Friday, I don't know if you saw in the news, the school board and the superintendent basically said nobody's using their facilities at all until October 1st. Well, just 3 days probably prior to that, I had gotten an email from the assistant superintendent saying that we could at least let our coaches practice at their facilities outside. Through a series of phone calls yesterday to try to clarify that, we can do that. But he's as confident as I am in front of you that is actually gonna keep going that way, So it's hard because we don't want to drag the participants and the coaches through things ultimately to not let them play. But like I said, you know, we're trying to move everybody on, so we are trying to run. And if people are willing to work with us, we're trying to do that as safely as we can. That said, ultimately, it's not my decision or really,
Right.
you know, so we're just gonna work with that as it comes to us. Registrations also give us a lot of feedback, and those actually were way down. Probably about a third of this fall soccer. And that's a variety of reasons. I would think safety is one of them, but I also think it's because of the unknown about school and the unknown about that nobody wants to commit their time and or resources to stuff that they're not sure about. So we're just taking it day by day. But,
Any other questions for Teresa? Questions there? I'm just curious, and how was softball this summer? Was it down? I mean, of course, probably, but.
our youth softball, yes, absolutely. But we did go and didn't have any problems once we started. Our adult softball is going and it's going well, except for, you know, I mean, we did have an issue.
Yeah.
Or two or three, but overall it's going well.
It's to be expected.
Yep,
It
the
is.
people are plugging along. We've had our adult soccer leagues going too, and they're going well.
Jerry, did you have a question?
Yeah, how about the disability out at Prairie Heights? How's that going?
Oh, the Miracle
You got a lot of
Field?
activity there?
No. And honestly, that is not on us. That is, the population is very high risk.
Sure.
And so most of the organizations and families that have that as an issue are just very reluctant. So we're keeping in contact with them as to how to
Which is
try to move
best.
that forward.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
understand.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Thank
Thank you. I don't hear, Jessica's light's not on. We'll move along to Mr. Troy, sitting back there in the dark.
Again, if there's any questions, otherwise we've been picking up sticks since the last meeting.
Picking it. Go ahead, Jerry.
Troy, you've done a great job, buddy. I just want to tell you that. And your fence is almost done. I almost got it finished at the top. I got just 2 more, I told him to order 2 more gallons, so I'll have the front part of it done. But, no, the guys have just done an excellent job out there. Matt's, kudos to Matt out there to get all those guys going out there and all the guys that are working out there. I mean, they're hauling park benches from one pavilion down to the golf courses, so there's a lot of activity going on in that direction, so a lot of things are going on, so we appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, it's been a challenging summer and we really appreciate the kind words and that's really nice.
And I mean that. I'm not just talking,
You can see me smile.
because I tell you otherwise.
Thank you.
Just out of curiosity, how are the number of rounds going this year?
Rounds are
Overall?
going very well. They're way up as one of the things that people can do, and it's been a very regular. And the weather's been, even though it's been hot, it's been really consistently. Haven't had a lot of rain, haven't had a lot of rain out, so it's taken up very well.
Good, good. Any other questions for Troy?
Troy?
Go ahead.
Yes.
If I went to River's Edge tomorrow to ice skate, would I be able to? Where are we with that? Yes?
I didn't confirm that we were supposed to have some ice used yesterday. I didn't confirm that, so I can check on that now. Find out,
Okay.
make sure it's
Well,
open.
I'm seeing thumbs over there.
The ice is back and we're open.
Great.
I
But
don't
it's
know
still-
what the schedule is, though. I
It
think we
still
need to
is,
confirm that,
it
but-
still is, you must have your own skates, and there is
Yeah.
a limit that's set for using the ice, so all those rules are in place. That's just,
I'll just piggyback off of, just in case you guys weren't aware, we did
Okay.
lose the ice at River's Edge with the derecho because we were without power in that building for almost 6 days. And we just, the ice melted, so we had to repaint and re-pour and freeze, and we just got the ice back Monday, so.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate, none of the cooling systems, we didn't sustain any mechanical losses, so we were fortunate in that just the cost, and that'll be, a risk of FEMA submittal for our financial loss on on that and the ice, remaking the ice, so.
Nothing you can do, you know? Okay, well, thank you, Troy.
Yes.
I'm sorry, any other questions? I don't see any lights on. Nothing from Jessica, nothing on your screen?
Tegan, can you try to speak again? Try it.
Are you able to hear me?
Yay, yes. Adriana, can you also hear us?
Dude,
Yes, I can.
I apologize, everyone. I hit a button somehow and muted the dais, which muted them, and so I apologize, but we are back up and running.
Oh, good.
okay. So
Not really.
okay, before we move on, let's do advisory time. Is there any, what? Mike, oh, that's right, you moved. Okay, go ahead.
The riverfront crossings continue to be worked on. I think Marquette Street is done, and that's really nice.
Yeah.
So as they come down and finish those, that'll be a great, great improvement for the waterfront. Of course, now with the COVID, hopefully nothing will come along that slows down the tenants in the buildings there and lessen their income. They're hoping, I guess, the construction to be done by winter, so that'd be fantastic. A couple upcoming events. They're still going Festival of Praise and Riverfront Pops are coming, and Steve said, of course, with appropriate social distancing. So Zach gave a presentation on the, is it called River Heritage? Did I say that right? That's really pretty. So I think someday, hopefully, the riverfront will be the opposite of what it is now. It'll look really, really nice instead of all torn up. I understand that the bike trail is all part of it too, bringing that up. So the riverfront, I think one of these days in terms of parks is going to look as nice as it doesn't now, if that makes any sense.
Okay, well, thank you. Jerry?
Do they have a time frame, Mike, of what they're doing down there?
He just said
What they're trying to accomplish?
You mean the whole thing?
Yes.
Basically, they're hoping by winter.
That everything will be done down there?
That's what they were saying. So I guess cross your fingers and see what happens.
So do they give you any kind of a report of what exactly are they doing? Do they have that, or are they just?
Well, they're coming back down, you mean crossings?
Yeah, because I'll be honest with you, I've never been to one of those meetings, and
Oh, okay.
I'd like to know more about
Well, you
what's
can.
going on.
You can, they're really fascinating. You can sit in. Basically, looking at it, they're coming down, working down each one. I know by Freight House, that's starting to come together. Marquette Street is done, so if you want to drive on.
I mean, I've seen things, but I've just
Yeah, that's
never.
really nice. And then Main Street, there's actually going to be bricks, and so that's coming together. And then getting ready for the riverboats to come in the future, farther down there toward the, is it Rotary? Band shell-like thing in there. So my understanding, listening to them, and whether all this will get done by winter, but that's what was communicated. They're kind of working as they go through.
So they're moving pretty fast then.
It seems to be. The big holdup's, of course, that huge sewer thing, hooking into all that thing. That's not the right word, but hooking into that and taking it out.
It's that big tunnel they put in down there.
So you can see it if you go across Marquette. That's done. That's really nice, and that's what's going to come back down all the way. So that'll give us access to the parks, and then be able to start building all that new stuff that we're talking about.
And with this meeting coming up, basically, is they talked a little bit about what's gonna happen from Marquette West? Or is this all gonna come up?
That's going to
starting-
be in the meeting we
Yeah, that
were
we're gonna be
into.
in.
Yeah.
But have they discussed anything beforehand?
We did not really at all.
Okay.
In this last meeting, I thought was prepared, there'd be quite a discussion, but there wasn't. He did the Heritage Park. And then Steve just announced that we'd be meeting September 3rd. So there was no discussion, no.
Well, thanks.
Okay. Any other questions about Riverfront Commission? I don't see any lights on. So are we, any advisory time, any items anyone wants to bring up? I don't,
Excuse me,
yeah,
have you had the elections?
no.
Oh, all right, well, because I kept popping in and out. My connection
Okay, we've
was
been,
not clear all the time.
okay, we were waiting until we had a good connection before we did that.
Okay, thank you. That's a good idea. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
So no items for the board members for the advisory time? Okay. So then we can move on. Do we have everybody now, Jessica? I think so, don't we?
Hey,
I believe, do we have Beverly online with us today? Is that our fourth person up there?
No. Not that I know of.
Beverly, are you on the call with us? Because caller 3 is Maureen, and then the caller 6, I don't know who that is, because I'm
Don't know.
not on the call there. Oh, Maureen might have called in twice. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay. So, we already discussed the procedure. So, the first position that we need to have nominations for is the chairperson. So, I need a motion for a person and a second. So, I see Leah Spratt's light on.
I move to nominate Wendy Peterson for the position of chair.
So we have a motion for Wendy. Let's see, other light on is Jerry.
I second it.
So we got move and second. Do I hear any other nominations for chairperson?
will you repeat that, please?
What?
The person who nominated?
I don't.
Leah nominated Wendy Peterson for the chair position, and that was seconded by Coiner.
Thank you.
I didn't hear Tegan.
Uh, Tegan would like to nominate herself for chairperson.
Okay. So it's been moved for Tegan for chairperson. Do I hear a second? I'm looking at my screen. I will second that. Can I do that? Yes, because this is not. Okay, second.
You can second more than one. You can second all of them, Jerry.
You can nominate them all.
Yeah, just good, yeah.
I just want to be an
Uh-huh.
Tegan says, thank you very much, Jerry.
Okay.
With a smiley face.
So I can't, even if I put my glasses on, it's hard to read those comments. We can, are there any other, I'm looking, is there any other nominations? I would like to nominate Michael Schertz for chairperson. Do I hear?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, that sounds like Steve. So we got three names, or three nominations for chair. Let me see. Yeah, right. So, hello?
Maureen, were you able to hear all of that?
Yes, yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, so if I don't see or hear any other nominations, then we'll close the nominations. Is there any discussion on closing it? Any last going? Okay. We'll open it up for
I
discussion.
move we go on.
You move, we go on. We have to go by the steps of that we were told to go by here. So, I'm opening the floor for discussion for the three nominations, which are Wendy, Tegan, and Mike. Is there any, Jerry, I see a light on.
With three nominees, wouldn't it be best if all three spoke and discussed what they feel that their direction should be?
Well.
So that way we can go in that direction?
Okay.
Make sense?
Huh? So I will open it up for Wendy. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
First of all, when I first said last meeting that I would be open to any of the leadership positions, that was because of my enthusiasm for serving on the board. When you look at this, and then on second thought, I thought, well, hello. I have been engaged through now Chad is the third director under which I've seen the operation and the leadership. And this has been the most exciting time when we look at opportunities and the melding of ideas and seeing them move forward. And I want to be very much a part of that. Leadership positions for me, I have held at a national and at a state level. So being a chair is something that I've had experience with. And it just being involved, I think anybody who has been on the board as long as I have know that I have been actively involved and keep connected with the parks and what's going on. So I will just leave it at that. I certainly would appreciate your vote.
Thank you. We'll let Tegan, I don't know if we can hear Tegan or.
Are you able to hear me?
Is that, okay, yeah, all right.
Okay, I will try to keep it short, but this is a little bit cumbersome. But this is now my second term on the board. I've been involved in a lot of our subcommittees, including Main Street Landing, Credit Island, and will soon be participating in the master planning for the park. But more than that, I love our park, and a large part of my day job is facilitation and planning, and I feel confident that I can bring those skills to the chair position. And on a lighter, less serious note, my last name is Trees.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's got to be a qualification in itself, right? No, I'll judge aside. I really enjoyed my time on the board, and I would love to take on more responsibility. So I would also appreciate your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from Mr. Schertz.
Actually, being on this board is more rewarding and exciting than what I was told it would be. In the beginning, somebody said, well, you're just an advisory board, but I feel like we have a real bond and communication with the park district or the park, and it's very much exciting to be part of that. I feel that Davenport really needs a crown jewel, something really exciting, and our parks are the biggest asset we have to be able to develop. We have great parks, and if we can bring them up through cooperation with public and staff and everybody and different resources, I think we can have some of the finest parks in the state. And I'm excited about that. Out by us is the big park, but a lot of the little parks have a fantastic potential. We toured, our alder lady and myself developed a plan for Ward 8, and that would be just an amazing thing. Years ago, people used to meet in parks and get together and develop a sense of community, and that's what I think that our parks could really develop, and I really, really enjoy doing this, and I'd like to be a lead in that. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to close discussion. Please remember that when you vote, this is how you need to phrase your vote. That, quote, "I vote for fill in the blank for the position fill in the blank." So, let's see. Is this a roll call voice vote, is it? Yes. So we will start, or Leah will read off the list in alphabetical order. Go ahead.
Okay. Coiner,
I vote for Wendy Peterson for the chairman of the Davenport Park Board Advisory Board.
Duffy,
I vote for Mike for chairperson.
Lennox,
Miss Maureen, are you still on the phone with us?
I am here, yes.
Would you like to cast your vote, please?
Oh, yes, I heard the name, I think. I can't hear my name. No, I am voting for Wendy for chairperson.
McBride,
I vote Taken Trees for chairperson.
Peterson. I guess I don't know.
I vote for Wendy Peterson for chairperson.
Shirts,
Oh, I vote for Mike Schertz for chairperson.
okay. Spratt, I vote Wendy Peterson for chair. Thomas,
I vote for Mike Schertz for chair.
Trees,
I would like to vote for Taken Trees for chairperson.
all right. Yes,
I have 9 votes. What do
Yep.
you have?
9 votes, and Peterson.
So now, since no one got 50%,
Well, I think it has to do with who got the most votes, right?
It is not
So-
a quorum here. It's going to be highest vote wins.
oh, I thought it
Yeah.
had to be 50%. No? Okay.
Peterson had 4, Shirts had 3, and Trees had 2.
Okay.
So Peterson won the nomination
Okay.
for chair.
Okay. So now we will
Congratulations.
open nominations. Now we will open nominations for vice chair. Do I hear nominations for vice chair? I see, Wendy, is your light on, or,
Yes,
okay.
I vote for Michael Schertz for vice chair.
I'll second that.
So it's been moved and seconded for Mike Schertz for vice chair. Do I hear any other nominations? Jerry, sorry.
I vote for Taken Trees for vice president.
Okay.
Adriana has
I'll
nominated
second.
herself. I'm sorry.
What, for vice chair for Adriana? Okay, wait a minute. Let's go back to Tegan. Did we get a second on Tegan?
I'll second.
Leah seconded, so it's been moved and seconded for Tegan. What about Adriana? She moved her motion for herself. I need a second on her to vote. I'm looking at lights on. Wendy, did you want your speakers on? Oh, okay. And Leah, your speaker's on.
Oh,
Your mic.
oh,
Okay, back to, I don't see a second on Adriana, so I have 2 nominations.
I will second that motion.
Okay.
Second, Adriana.
So let's see here. I'm sorry, is there any other nomination for vice chair? No? I don't see any lights on. Do you have any messages, Jess? On the vice chair?
Adriana thanks Maureen, and Tegan said, my man Jerry.
Okay. What?
Smiley face. Nominated.
Okay. Okay. So, we have heard a campaign speech from Mike and Tegan for the previous position. So we will give Adriana the floor here for a little, whatever you want to call it, talk or speak. Can she hear us?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. So I've been on the advisory board for a year now and just kind of sat back and watched things play out, just kind of see how things go here. And want to take a more active role in participating. So that is my reasoning for nominating myself.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other discussion on the nominations? No, ready to move along, so our able secretary will call the roll.
Coiner. Do you remember who you have to vote for?
Do I need to refresh your memory? Okay, the nominations are Mike, Tegan, and Adriana for vice chair.
I, Jerry Coiner, nominate
No, vote.
or vote for Tegan Trees for the position of vice president.
Okay.
Duffy.
I vote for
Vice
Mike.
chairman, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
Vice chair for Mike.
Mike,
Lemick. Maureen.
I vote for Mike Gertz for vice chair.
McBride.
I vote for myself for vice chair.
Peterson.
I vote for Mike.
Schertz.
I vote for Michael for vice chair.
Spratt. I vote Tegan Trees for vice chair. Thomas.
I vote for Schertz
And Trees.
for vice chair, I'm sorry. And Tegan, yeah.
Trees.
It'll
Tegan.
probably come as no surprise.
Okay.
I will vote for Tegan Trees for vice chair.
Okay. Michael Schertz has won that nomination.
Okay, so Mike won the nomination or the election for vice chair. We'll move along to secretary. Is there any nominations for secretary? Oh, come on. Jerry?
Oh, there we go. I vote for Leah.
What's her name?
I vote for Leah Spratt for vice chair. Or secretary, I'm sorry. I got vice president, vice chair out.
Peterson?
I second that nomination.
Is there any other nominations for the position of secretary?
I didn't hear who there was a single person nominated?
Yes, Leah Spratt, yes. Okay, I don't hear any other nominations. I don't see any lights on. So, go ahead, roll, or call the roll. Yeah. Just to be sure,
Coiner,
I vote for Leah.
Duffy,
Leah Spratt.
thanks, guys. Maureen,
I vote for yes.
oh, thanks. McBride,
Scrap for secretary.
oh, thanks, guys. You guys are, oh, this is wonderful. Peterson,
Leah Spratt for secretary.
I'm really feeling the love here. It's great. Shirts,
Leah Spratt.
Spratt, oh, I don't know, I guess I'll vote for myself. Spratt.
Sure.
Thomas
Spratt.
and Trees.
I vote Leah Spratt for
Oh,
secretary.
thanks. Wow,
If you
unanimous.
remember right, last time Leah was volunteered into the position, no one wanted it, so we're lucky to have her. Thanks for that vote of confidence there.
You do a great job.
Yes. We have one position left, which is the liaison to the Riverfront Commission. So I will open it for nominations for this position.
Hello.
Let's see, Jerry, I see Jerry's light on.
I nominate Tegan Trees
I'll second that.
for liaison.
Well, first we have to ask, first we need to ask Ms. Trees if she's interested.
Are you taking, excuse me, you're breaking up. Are you
Tegan?
taking nominations for the position of liaison?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
I'm
I'd
asking,
like to nominate myself for that position.
you are, all right, Maureen's nominating herself for that position. First of all, I wanted to ask Tegan, she's been nominated for that position. Is she interested?
This is Tegan. Yeah, I would love to serve as liaison
You-
for the Riverfront Improvement Commission. Thank you for your nomination.
Yeah, I didn't want to vote for you if you weren't, you didn't want to be sure you're interested. Okay, so we have, just to be clear, Tegan has been moved and seconded for nomination. Maureen has moved herself. Is there any other, let's see, Wendy, did you want to speak? Go ahead.
I would nominate Jerry Coiner for Riverfront Improvement Commission.
We need a second on Maureen.
Yeah,
Before we
we're-
get another nomination.
We're waiting on. Let's see.
I'll second Maureen.
Okay, so that was moved and
Now,
seconded.
yeah, Wendy.
Okay, now Wendy.
Okay. I would nominate Jerry Coiner for Riverfront Improvement Commission representative.
Are you interested first?
I'm interested, but I think Tegan would be a great person for that position.
Are you ready?
Richard?
I didn't get a second on Jerry, so. Hello, is there someone else on?
Go ahead, Maureen, you went in first, and then I have a comment from Adriana.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Maureen, go ahead.
You're breaking up, but I cannot hear clearly at all. It's just crackling.
Your nomination was seconded by Steve Duffy, so you are on the slate for Riverfront Improvement Commission right now with Tegan. Now, Adriana McBride just nominated herself.
I cannot understand.
Can you type a message to Jessica? She's on her phone. I got a motion for, to nominate Adriana. I'm trying to keep my thoughts straight here. Leah?
Since we're having technical difficulties, I'm wondering if we should postpone the nomination and vote for the Riverfront liaison until October, maybe? Or, I mean, I don't know.
I
That's
can't-
all we can do. Or do we just want to move on?
I think,
I think we need to move on.
yeah. Jessica, you getting anything from Adriana?
Ladies, did you catch any of that? Leah has motioned to skip the Riverfront Improvement Commission liaison vote until next month due to technical difficulties.
I cannot, it's just crackling. I hear a voice that crackles.
So, yeah, due to that, and since Maureen is interested, I think in all fairness, I don't think there's any issue with postponing that single seat until October.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing critical that needs to be.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to second Leah's motion to suspend the vote on Riverfront until October, that'd be fine.
Wendy?
I'll second that.
So it's been moved and seconded to wait till October to vote on the Riverfront liaison due to having some technical problems. So is there any further discussion on this, waiting on this vote? I don't see any. Let's vote on this though. We can just take well, you better call the roll, just.
Well, you could just do a.
Voice vote. All in favor of waiting till October for the Riverfront Commission, say aye. Aye. I can't vote. Any opposed? None opposed. So we will wait till October to finish this vote, but we need to, in the minutes, right, that Tegan and Maureen have been moved and seconded for nomination. Jerry's name was motioned and Adriana's name was motioned, but not seconded, just so we can continue from that point.
We will
What?
have to start over with the two that didn't get a second.
Right,
We'll run those again through before discussions
Yeah.
next meeting.
yeah. Okay, so I think we've made it, folks.
Hey, Richard?
Yes.
I have one thing just to say, sorry, because I know we're running late, but from the staff and my experience, we just want to take a minute to thank you, Richard, for your time as chair of our board. We appreciate everything, and Richard, you've been a fine example of someone who is an advocate for Parks and Recreation, cares deeply for our department, and we appreciate everything you've done. So just wanted to give you a round of applause.
Thank you, thank you. I just feel that
And my applause.
I just think it's time for, I've enjoyed it, but I think it's time for some fresh, I won't say fresh, well, let's say fresh blood, how's that? Ideas, yes. But yes, I am gonna stay on the board, I'm teaching 5 classes a week, and with being an teaching online, it takes a lot more time for teachers, and I just don't have the time. So, but thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. So,
Thank you, Richard.
what's next? I would say I'm looking for a motion to adjourn. Leah?
I move to adjourn.
I second it.
Mike seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Wendy, at some point this month, let's meet at